I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. Welcome to Tuesday.
Or the big question is, which one of us is disobeying orders?
You can't handle the truth.
I'm going to be court-martialed.
I so want to see a Pete Hegseth, Mark Kelly courtroom showdown like we saw at A Few Good Men. That would be so choice.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Hey, it wouldn't end up looking like A Few Good Men, though. That's just, yeah, because you got Hegseth in that whole mix there. That's going to be a mess, just in general.
We are talking the Pentagon now threatening to court-martial Democrat Senator Mark Kelly over his Refuse Illegal Orders video, claiming that the seditious six are interfering with the loyalty, morality, and good order and discipline of the armed forces. I am thrilled Donald Trump is drawing a line in the sand, saying that for your political gain, you cannot interfere with the functionality of our military trying to keep American citizens safe. This has gone too far, Democrats. He's pushing back.
And what does it say about our military training and those men and women in uniforms if over a single video they change and it's so disruptive and it shatters to the core? Really? I bet those Russian troll farms are firing up their AI machines right now. If all you have to do is drop a single video and you can disrupt the mechanisms and the war readiness of our military from a single video.
Not something we mess around with.
Sure. Yeah,
Not
right.
something we mess
Through
around
a single video.
Tony
right.
in Littleton. Good morning, Tony. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Hey, good morning. I hear you concerned that the tape will influence their decision. What about the courts that are ruling against the administration? Isn't that more compelling to the military guys that the courts are saying that the use of the military right now is out of line? Is that compelling?
What illegal orders?
Military guy?
What illegal orders has Trump given?
His use of the military in Portland and Chicago and LA, and the courts are saying that he's overreached. That's not their role.
And you want a 19-year-old in the military, Tony, to be analyzing legal decisions that are being made at lower courts that could be overturned. That could be overturned at the higher levels. You want them weighing all those things when deciding whether or not to follow an order.
I think context is important. In the first administration, Trump wanted to do exactly this: recall officers and then court-martial them. And he was discouraged from doing that by Secretary of Defense and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Now he doesn't have any people like that around him stopping him from doing those types of things.
Wait, hold on. Tony, you think that Mark Kelly was just sitting around and Donald Trump all of a sudden showed up and court-martialed him? This was all because of what Mark Kelly did in that video.
I'm saying this is exactly what Trump tried to do the first time, and he was discouraged from doing it.
Get the military in order?
Now he doesn't have anybody.
Not allow retired military to try to interfere with the loyalty, morale, and good order and discipline of the armed forces?
That's your opinion. That's
the official statement of the Department of War.
I don't believe a court is going to rule in his favor on that. I think it's going to be hard to convince a court that these six telling people just follow the law. Remember to follow the law.
That's Tony, you're gaslighting. They said this administration is pitting uniformed military against its citizens, and you have a duty to disobey illegal orders. That's a lie.
And there are people.
That's a lie.
There are a lot of people in the country believe that he's doing just that. You don't. But there's nothing he could do that you would think is wrong.
So, Tony, has Donald Trump been convicted or even charged in the courts with pitting uniformed military against its citizens? If that hasn't happened, then it's just a belief. And to the Department of War's point, the seditious six are encouraging a service member's personal philosophy to interfere with otherwise lawful orders. And that's not right. This weakens the military.
Trump has already weakened the military. So I'm not worried about what these
Tony,
six
by
did.
getting it to its highest levels ever of people wanting to join it and be a part of it, he is strengthening this military. You're just wrong. Tony Littleton, appreciate the call.
Thanks, Tony.
Phone lines are open. You can jump in on Tony. Well, there we go. All right, people are already jumping in. This is a hot issue. 303-696-1971 is the phone line, or give us a call at 720-819-5115. Now it's time for News and Comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, News and Comment.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, 33 and sunny in Denver, expecting a high of 47 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story: one suspect was taken into custody early this morning in Southeast Highlands Ranch after an area was briefly under a shelter-in-place order while Douglas County deputies searched for two suspects. They were looking for them near MacArthur Ranch Road and South Quebec Street, and later determined there was not a second suspect, but they did get the one, so that's good. AAA says today will be one of the busiest days for Thanksgiving travelers. Tomorrow will also see millions on the road, as well as Sunday after Thanksgiving, so take it slow, be patient, and get there. 5 people, including 3 children, died Monday in a crash, and 2 others were seriously injured. One vehicle driving southbound on Highway 83 near Franktown lost control and rolled into northbound lanes. Officials say it hit a vehicle head-on and then crashed into another. 2 other juveniles were sent to the hospital. AG Pam Bondi says she'll appeal after the criminal indictments against Big Tish and Big Dummy, former FBI Director James Comey.
You big dummy, you big dummy, you big cold-blooded dummy, you big dummy.
Those were dismissed by a federal judge.
The judge found that Lindsay Halligan, President Trump's hand-picked interim U.S. attorney in Virginia, was not lawfully appointed because of laws limiting how long top prosecutors can serve without Senate confirmation.
NBC's Alice Barr reports Comey was indicted for allegedly lying to Congress about the Trump-Russia investigation. James was indicted for mortgage fraud. Bondi says all available action will be taken. Ukraine has reportedly agreed to a peace deal to bring an end to its war with Russia. It comes as Ukraine's national security advisor said a common understanding had been reached. Zelensky could head to D.C. then by the end of the month to finalize the deal. Candice Owens posting this morning that both the White House and our counterterrorism agencies have confirmed receipt of what she reported publicly. Emmanuel Macron attempted to organize her assassination per a source close to the first couple. What a lovely couple they are. She also posted that the French legionnaires were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, but they did not act alone. According to a new survey, Black Friday shoppers will be looking to spend less than they did last year. A holiday retail survey shows that on average, consumers who plan to shop during Black Friday to Cyber Monday during that period expect to spend $622, down 4% from a year ago. 82% of consumers surveyed say they'll shop over the Black Friday weekend, up from 79% last year. The Rockies removing the interim tag from Warren Schaefer. He is the next manager of the Colorado Rockies.
Did so well at the last season. No, it's great. It's just the confidence rolling into the winter months and the
That's
Rockies.
right.
That's great. They said they looked at that guy and said, "Wow, you managed to lose how many games? You're our guy." Great. That's wonderful.
Nothing's more marketable than Warren Schaefer right now.
Yeah,
for the
just
Rockies.
it's almost like walking to the doctor and going, "How many of these knee surgeries have you blown?" That many? Sign me up. You free next Thursday? That's wonderful. Good job
Good
there.
point. Good point. Yeah, I don't know.
It's like buying a Jaguar in the 80s. It breaks every third day. Oh, that's fine. Here, take my cash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jaguar in the 80s.
Yeah, man.
How
those
about a
things,
Jaguar
piece of
today?
junk.
Are they even around? I don't even see them on the
Oh, yeah.
roads
They're
anymore.
around. They're
It's
more
like
reliability. They've messed up their branding, though. The branding is absolutely stupid. They
Just
changed that a
weird
few.
commercials, right?
Waymos.
Yeah.
The
it's
only
just,
place left. Drive a
Just
Jaguar.
about.
Hey, I did see the video of the soccer punch.
Isn't that crazy?
Jeez,
That
crazy.
dude just
man.
hits his own player
That
on his
was-
team. Just smack.
That made no
Whoa.
sense.
Happens every day on the Jeff and Bill show.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just an
It's
everyday
wow.
occurrence.
Damn.
Exactly. All right, the Nuggets in Memphis last night.
Clarkin and Tony Brothers. He got his arm raked as the ball was knocked away. Hardaway to the basket in the lane.
All right, 125-115 over the Grizz. Jamal Murray, 29, 8 assists, 6 3-pointers, and Peyton Watson had 27, 5 rebounds, and 5 3-pointers in the game. And the Nuggets are 13-4. Sharks at the Avalanche tomorrow, Monday Night Football. Last night, the Niners beat Carolina, and the Broncos preparing for Washington this week. 30 in Brighton, 32 in Castle Rock, and 33 in Denver. You are waking up with Jeff and Billy. And it is Tuesday morning before Thanksgiving, just a couple more days before you get to eat the turkey and the sweet potatoes. Can't wait. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Partly cloudy skies, breezy and colder today. Denver will see temperatures in the low to mid-40s. Lows tonight in the low to mid-20s. Highs will be in the lower to mid-50s for Wednesday and Thursday, as temperatures will bounce back up a little bit as we go into Wednesday and Thanksgiving Day. Increasingly cloudy on Friday. Temperatures will stay in the 50s, but it will be colder. Some light snow chances could develop late Friday night into the day Saturday and Sunday, and much colder for the weekend. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Phone lines are still hot on this one. The UCMJ prohibiting actions intended to interfere with the loyalty. Good night. I might actually get that by the end of the show. Loyalty. We should just start saying that. The loyalty, morale, or good order and discipline of the armed forces. The Department of War now investigating as to whether or not Mark Kelly in the Seditious 6 video actually broke the law. He could be brought back into the military and tried, court-martialed as a result. Jason Crow could not because he did not reach a high enough rank. Wah, wah. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Joe in Arvada. Good morning, Joe. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Good morning, Jeff, Billy. Well, first, let me say this. I was in the military, and my brother's in the military. And let's just get this over with right now on this question. The military loves Donald Trump. The military is re-enlisting at a record pace, and people are coming into the military because they got the guys with dresses out of the military. And the other thing is the military is for lethality, not wokeness. And that was what was causing people to question getting into the military. So the answer is it's better than it ever was. Anybody that is questioning how the morale of the military to enlist under Donald Trump unless you're woke or a guy in a dress. And the second thing, Mark Kelly, I believe, should be tried in a court-martial. He has a right to defend himself. Let's hear all the facts. Did they conspire together to put this video together? Was this just a spontaneous thing? What was the thought process? Were they trying to encourage young people to do an act of sedition? And then finally, these are the kind of things that trials are for. We have other trials that need to be brought, including James Comey needs to be tried for sedition. And let's quit fooling around with the, lied to Congress. There was a conspiracy to come against the President of the United States in illegal ways. And I could, believe me, there's a lot of things that could be shown that James Comey did that were illegal.
Let's go back to the military thing, because James Comey is outside of the conversation we're having right now. He wasn't in the video,
Not really.
nor was he addressed in the video.
Sedition.
I know, but nor is he either. He's not a military member. He's not a. But again, not the.
But it's sedition,
Joe,
just like Jason Crow. Sedition.
Not the subject matter of the video. Not subject of the investigation of the military.
Okay, but they should bring a case against the civilians in the video as well, that they're trying for sedition.
Oh, yeah, but just remember though, Joe. Just remember though, if they put on a red hat, then they'll be pardoned by the president. Remember that.
No,
because we had people that were convicted of seditious conspiracy. They got a big pardon. So that's all you got to do. Remember, it's just about what hat you're wearing.
Oh, you mean the next president that you think is going to be a Democrat?
No, I didn't say that at all. I just said this president pardoned a bunch of guys and wore red hats.
Oh, he's going to pardon the people that are charged with sedition? He's going to pardon these people that are telling our military members to come against the United States? That's what a conspiracy of sedition is. It's rallying people to come against the United States. And believe me, the legal orders of the commander-in-chief are the orders of the United States. Think about it. He's the commander-in-chief.
But you know the rest of the oath, Joe. You took it. You understand the duty to disobey. You were drilled in it. You get it. I understand why you're doing it based on the position you're taking, but you understand it.
We weren't inspired to disobey our commander-in-chief.
I said
I don't know what you're talking about.
I said instructed.
We weren't instructed. We were not instructed to disobey.
You were instructed on the duty to disobey. You were instructed, and it's in your oath. You can't sit here and play. I don't know what it means. It's in your oath.
Like commit murder in your living room or something like that? Yeah. But disobeying the commander-in-chief who is telling you to attack a terrorist? No, dude. But we weren't instructed on that.
Hey, dude, you forgot the other rest of the oath, which says only if the orders comport with uniform code and military justice. Now, that changed in the 60s. Until then, it was between 1912.
No Democrat has ever answered anything that says Donald Trump has done any kind of illegal order.
Exactly,
Joe.
Tell
us what it is.
Exactly, Joe. And I appreciate the phone call because we've got to move on. I appreciate it. That is exactly the point. This video doesn't outline an illegal order. You're not going to be able to charge them for bupkis because that's the point. They didn't tell the military, go disobey this. This was a front-facing PR video for the average voter. The military members know the oath. They're drilled on it. The JAG officer earlier admitted that they're trained. They know this. They've got this in training.
18 U.S.C. 237 prohibits actions intended to interfere with the loyalty, morale, or good order and discipline of the armed forces. That's exactly what that video did.
No,
let's go
not
to
at all.
Frank in Evergreen. Good morning, Frank. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Hey, good morning. I'm not sure if people listen to you guys to listen to people like Joe or just to listen to you guys, but Joe's awesome. Hey, here's the thing. Billy jumps to the conclusion right away that since there was no specific illegal order, that it can't, all it is a bunch of friendly Democrats, America-loving Democrats banter. Well, the truth is that since there was no specific order, that means it applies to every order and the president gives, and that is sedition. And they should be tried, found guilty, and hung from the gallows, all 6 of them.
So, Frank, you saw some of these people in the video. They were on the talking head shows, and they were directly asked, what order did the president give that's illegal? And they went, hum, ha, and that was held up as, look at these dummies. They aren't even able to point to a single illegal order. Isn't this a silly video by a bunch of people complaining about something that hasn't happened? And now we go 180 degrees. And now the video is the worstest of the worst. That's specifically because there is no directive of a specific order. Now it's obviously countermanding all of the orders. You got to decide on the narrative. Either this is a bunch of people that couldn't outline a specific illegal order by Donald Trump and were basically blowing smoke in a video, or they were undermining the very core of the readiness of the military. Can't be both. Got to pick a narrative.
I stand by what I said, Billy.
Okay. Would have been different last week. That's okay.
Well, no, not necessarily. Here's the thing: is that the other thing you say, Billy, is that you think this weakens the president or the likelihood of the next election winning or losing, whatever. It doesn't, though. What you miss is that the people like me and most of the people who voted for him and many others who are being swayed by him now want him because he's a fighter, and he's putting down this BS that's been going on in our nation for 30, 40, 50 years. And we're tired of it. And he will get more voters for this, not less. And as a good liberal, Billy, you want the other narrative where, it's going to hurt him, and you're trying to convince people, well, it's going to go negative for him. Well, it's not going to go
Frank,
negative
that's
for him. It's going to go positive.
That's not what I said. Frank, that's not. Yeah, I understand the conclusions you're drawing. That's not what I said. One, Trump's not running in the next election cycle, major election cycle. No, he's not.
Midterm, I'm talking about.
Okay, hang on, bro. Hang on. The comment I made about Mark Kelly and it helping him and hurting the current administration had to do with the idea of recalling him, placing him on trial, and court-martialing him leapfrogs him into one of the top two choices by Democrats for the 2028 run. Full stop. That's all I was addressing. Cool. That's it, man. Frank, cool. I was not addressing who was going to lose. I was not saying the Republicans were going to lose, nor the Democrat was going to win, nor vice versa. And I wasn't addressing midterms. I was only addressing the fact that if they drag him back into the service and place him on trial, it raises his profile and puts him into one of the top two choices, probably second to Gavin Newsom. That's it. I'm just saying that's how the Democrats are going to see it.
If he's hung from the gallows, he won't be able to run for president, Billy.
Yeah, I know, but talk to me about this. What do you think the average voter is going to do when they look at the U.S. military hanging someone from the gallows based on a video they produced? That's the capital punishment offense. Frank,
I already said what it is.
So you're telling me,
this is fighting.
Frank, you're telling me that the average American wants people to face capital punishment over videos. That's what the average voter in America wants. That's what you believe.
Well, I'm not sure we're there yet, but hopefully we'll be there again someday.
You said we were, that they were fighters and they wanted to. You said that this is what the American people wanted. Come on, stop backtracking. Do they want this? They want people. They want a fighter that's going to put people to death. That's going to put people to death for a video, right? That's what you say they want, correct?
Well, maybe we'll just give them life. I don't know. But here's the thing.
Well, maybe. So you're just overstating it. You're just overstating your case just to make a point. Fair enough, but you weren't being realistic. That's fair. It's fine. I'm not realistic sometimes.
Sorry, Mr. Reality himself.
Frank, I just said I'm not realistic sometimes myself. I followed up that statement. I was absolutely acknowledging that.
We're both human that way.
Yep, absolutely. Just pointing it out. Yeah.
I feel like we're giving a good preview for a lot of folks of what Thanksgiving dinner is going to look like.
Yes, and Frank, I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving dinner, my friend.
It's going to be spicy.
Yes,
Speaking of that, coming up next is Brigitte Macron a man? Candice Owens thinks so. I listened to Candice's efforts to try to explain this, and we'll help prepare you for what could be a wilder side of the Thanksgiving Day debate. Is Brigitte Macron a man? All right, let's talk gyries, folks. My wife and I Had an absolutely wonderful experience at Guy Reed's. They got locations all over the Denver metro area. We got to sit down with a professional designer, and they showed us an incredible selection of Hunter Douglas custom blinds, shades, and shutters. Look, I'm a little overwhelmed when it comes to home improvement type of stuff. I'm not a Tim the Tool Man Taylor. But my wife got to ask lots of questions. The designer was a pro, and she helped us walk through everything to improve the look and functionality of our home. So whether your curtains are clashing or you just want a fresh look, Guy Reed's has the solutions for you. Their designers are the experts, and they can help you with everything from window treatments to full room decor. But here's the best part. They offer a personalized in-home consultation. So you don't just have a conversation in their store. They come out to your home with samples, with paint samples, and with lasers to measure everything. You can get the same expert advice we got in our own home. Do yourself a favor. Get started today. Guys, you really want to win points with your wife, just go visit Guy Reed's. Let them explore and daydream about all the different things they could do. It is awesome. Your wife will love you. Visit GuyReeds.com to schedule your in-home consultation. That's GUIRYS.com, GUIRYS.com. Go see the great people at Guy Reed's. You'll be sure to thank me, and we'll continue. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
We here at the Jeff and Bill Show take our listeners very seriously and want to help educate you so that you are prepared.
Yes.
For what may come down the road, and what may be happening this week are fierce debates around the Thanksgiving dinner table about lots of things, including, is Brigitte Macron a man?
Now, my advice is if you get into these debates at Thanksgiving, that's a time to go refresh your glass of wine or your beer. just back away slowly, like Homer Simpson going into the bushes. That's you need to do.
Double down. Show up with your MAGA hat on, especially if you've got nieces with funny-colored hair and nose rings. See, it is your duty, Uncle, to help educate.
And y'all that listen think I'm the problem here. You're the best. You're the best.
All right. This one popped up because Blake was talking about Candice Owens, and I just found this thing wild. So I actually took some time yesterday to listen to Candice. Blake Olson, you got to help us understand what Candice is saying regarding what Brigitte Macron is.
Well, that's a good question. She says, Candice says that she believes that she was born a male and has been basically masquerading as a woman her entire life. And she was a teacher at the school where her husband was a student. She was 39. He was 14. They had a relationship. And once I learned about that, boom, that's a big red flag for me, at least. And I feel like he was a victim. I don't know what other people feel like, but he was 14 years old. She was a teacher, and they had a relationship, and they've had a relationship ever since. She believes that he's a man. She, Brigitte. And, they're surrounding their community, if you will, or orbit, is made up of people who are pedophiles who have been found to be involved in that lifestyle and that satanic ritual world, dark, evil, the entertainment, the information that he consumes, that she consumes, has to do with a lot of pedophilia. I guess that's what it's called. I am so ignorant on all of this stuff. It's just freak behavior. It's darkness. It's weird. A lot of elites evidently are involved in this. We've heard about stories in Europe and beyond with this type of thing. So that's what she believes, and she makes a case for it, and her investigations continue.
Makes a case for it is one way to describe it. So, yes, the French are freaks. We've understood that for a long time, right?
So and you can start right there.
Right, yeah. I mean, you go back, I was watching the John Adams series on HBO where Sean's trying to rein in Benjamin Franklin.
Yes.
He basically gets to France, he's like, freak-a-leak. He's going all in. Walking
absolutely.
in on him in bathtubs and all that other stuff. So I don't discount that there's weird stuff around her relationship with Emmanuel Macron and that age distinction, and then some of the authors that they seem to celebrate are absolutely pedophiles and should be condemned and all this stuff. I can't get to where there's evidence that Brigitte is actually a dude. Okay, so I got through 2 episodes of Candice, and for me, it's a health issue concern for me to listen to her. I get really bad headaches because she jumps around in conspiracy theories without ever finishing a thought. And so
She's a storyteller.
Oh, dude, she's a squirrel on ADHD. Like she is all over the place, man. And my brain tries, and I have a little bit of ADHD, I think, but I've never been diagnosed. But my goodness, she jumps around so much that I get headaches listening to her. So I'm like, all right, she's got this 8-part series. We're going to give 2 episodes a try. That's a good 2 hours of my day. I'm claiming hazard pay from Salem for doing this.
You should.
But all I got out of 2 episodes of any evidence that she's a dude comes from Closer magazine that had a story that she went to a plastic surgeon. Now, the magazine story doesn't even say exactly which plastic surgeon it is. It kind of alludes to one. And in alluding to one, they talk about how his expertise is in, quote, female softening, which I guess is another way for making a dude a lady. But that's it. She went to some place where she was seen outside of a plastic surgeon's office. And then everything else is kind of speculative and put on top of that. And for Candice Owens to bet her entire personal career, Bill is telling me, right? On this?
Yep.
On that? Dude, I think she's going to lose.
Yeah, and I'm not even certain that surgeon existed. I'm not even certain that surgeon is real, because there was a story that popped up earlier this year, or was it late last, about the supposed surgery specialist that was the one that transitioned. Brigitte Macron was found dead. Yes, dead. And is no longer with us. Problem is, the person never existed. The hospital credentials, the hospital said there's never been anybody that has worked here like that. And they were actually able to pull the face that was used in the pictures from Shutterstock stock images. They were able to cross-reference it that way. And the guy they can't find anybody with that name ever operating as a surgeon in that region. So there's a question as to whether or not that surgeon even existed. And problem I've got with this is it traces back to December 2021 is what I see. When Amandine Roy, who stylizes herself as a medium, along with Natasha Ray, who says that she's an independent investigative journalist, but she draws most of her income from her sales of essential oils. They were on a 4-hour YouTube video in which they launched this entire conspiracy theory, and I have a difficult time backing up any of it. And Candice's timeline has changed dramatically, because originally it was that Brigitte was born male and then was raised female. Then it was that Brigitte's older brother, that there was no Brigitte ever. Brigitte never existed. In fact, there's a video out there where Candice Owens says, for 30 years, there's no Brigitte Macron. For 30 years, there's no Brigitte, whatever the last name was, because not Macron, but it's at the time. And there was. And then she's changed the narrative to now that it's the older brother that is transitioned, and the final pièce de résistance is the final, and I did that as, on purpose in French.
Very nice.
That the final one is that now she believes that Brigitte Macron is actually a guy who is Emmanuel Macron's biological father, and now they're involved in an incestuous relationship. So that's where she is on this. She's gone from born as a guy, then brother transitioned into being Brigitte, to, nope, actually, it's now Emmanuel Macron's real father, who's now a woman, and they're having a relationship. And none of it holds water. None of it at all. There isn't a single thing. I mean, the Jean-Michel is supposed to be the older brother who transitioned into Brigitte. He retired at the age of 80, and he's seen in pictures at the 2017 and 2022 inauguration. So he exists. And what we don't have in the timeline is we don't have a member of the family disappearing. That you would need to have one member of Brigitte's family disappearing. And it can even go back to, I checked April 1953, the Courrier Picard, which is a local newspaper that actually announced the birth of Brigitte and listed all of her older siblings. Every single one of them. They also have pictures of her as a child. They have pictures from her first marriage. And that first marriage would have to predate any transition surgery based on what Candice Owens has laid down as a timeline. None of this makes sense.
I also found it really interesting that in Candice's video, she's like, well, Brigitte could clear this up real easily. Just clear it all up. we're demanding pictures from every year she was born from 1959 on. We would like to see birth records. I mean, it's like so invasive into her life that if somebody said that to me too, I'd be like, go pound sand, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I have plenty of pictures from when I was a kid, but I'm not diving through to just send them all to some law firm in Tennessee in another country that's going to come up with these weird conspiracies. And I don't know. It
and
just
one of the
did hold
photos,
water
one
for
of the
me.
photos that Candice holds up as proof of transition is a digitally altered image, and that so someone played funny with it. I'm not saying she did, but someone played funny, and it is a digitally altered image.
Which one was that?
It's the one. It's the young one where it's supposedly the brother dressed as a girl or her as a guy. Yeah, that's
so
completely
that
fake.
one was?
Yeah, that's digitally altered. And so there's some problems. The issue, the core of it, is that her timeline can't make sense because we know that Brigitte was born female. Everybody in the town and everyone around them, she was female. And she even is dressed as a female when she's doing First Communion. But then the idea being that Candice switches to it's her older brother, that at some point Brigitte dies and the older brother transitions into Brigitte, but he still has public records. He is still extant at the time. There are pictures, there's places he lived. It's not as if he dropped off the face of the earth. And then the entire conspiracy that now that fell apart is that now that somehow Brigitte is really the biological father of Emmanuel Macron. I mean, it gets crazy because part of this would have to be the timeline in which Candice Owens says that Brigitte would have to transition. And again, that's what it was. It was the idea that she dropped the whole thing that she was born a male. It was now that a male has transitioned into Brigitte. The problem is it would have to be done after Brigitte had all of her children, and one of them would have to be around the ages of 3 to 5. And so you're telling me, and again, and it's also, another one, it's in a small French town at the time. This is not in Paris or anything else. It is a smaller French community. And you're going to tell me that a child of the age to 3 to 5 is going to readily adopt new mommy, who doesn't look like old mommy, but going to pretend that new mommy is old mommy, and then hold that actual narrative for years. And everything really, in my mind, begins to fall apart when you get to the time in which Emmanuel Macron was a student of Brigitte, and she was his lit and drama teacher. Brigitte's eldest daughter was a classmate.
Yeah.
Same age
and
as Emmanuel.
That is weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
I think you can absolutely look at that age difference and go,
oh, totally weird. But here's the thing, is that becomes a huge scandal inside the town. The kids have come out and said that they were ridiculed, that this was, this is before social media, and gossip travels really fast. And gossip about a student-teacher relationship travels even faster. And if there was any questions, if there was anybody in town that knew anything about Brigitte transitioning, that's the time in which that gossip drops, because now you know something nobody else in the town does, and that creates a social cash. That creates and that raises your standing socially inside of the community. Nobody came out at that time and said that Brigitte was a dude. There isn't anybody at that time peddling this narrative.
Blake,
it's not until 2021 that this even pops up.
What
do
you think, Blake? I'll give you the final word on this one.
I think she should have been behind bars if she was 39 and he was 14, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
but nothing happened, right? I mean,
no. Well, here's the thing that happened. That what we know is okay, and I know way too much about this because I spent time reading and watching videos about the relationship. So they're in class together. And it actually ends up coming out as gossip inside of the town because the two of them are seen at a local restaurant. And the way it's described, again, this is years ago, and this is a small French community. And they describe it as they see the student and teacher sharing a tender moment.
Right.
We don't know what that is. We don't know if that's gazing longingly at each other, holding hands. We don't know if it's a shared kiss. What we do know is inside that restaurant, they weren't doing the Humpty Hump. So we have nothing
but still
that shows,
inappropriate.
again, totally inappropriate.
Yeah.
I'm not defending that. I'm just saying that it is a totally inappropriate relationship. Emmanuel's parents yanked him from the school and sent him to Paris. and told him not to have any conversations and any contact with Brigitte. He continued to have phone calls and letter contact back and forth. Now, they didn't do anything that we know of as far as getting together or anything romantically until early 2000s. And it's after Brigitte's kids were already grown adults. And in the mid-90s, her husband moves out of the house. But they are still married until 2006, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, but then Emmanuel and Brigitte get married in 2007. So there was, no substantial relationship between them, but there's nothing that shows while that marriage decree was still enforced that Emmanuel and Brigitte were having any sort of romantic relationship, but also they're now adults at that point.
I want to go back to the original question because we got to get to a break. Is Brigitte Macron a man? Bill?
No, there's nothing. And it is. And I love the fact that Candice has staked her professional reputation on that, because burn it to the ground. She's wrong. She's the one that said her reputation is staked on this claim. She's 110% wrong.
Blake?
I don't know, but she needs more plastic surgery.
Some female softening?
Yes. Yes. I don't know. I'm just... It would not shock me. It would not shock me at all. It's France.
Look, I'm going to say this without listening to all 8 episodes, 8 hours of Candice Owens, because I think I might die. It's up there with having to listen to ska, Bill, what it does to me.
You're welcome.
No.
To her voice.
It's not worse than that.
No, Brigitte Macron is not a man. And Candice Owens, oh my gosh. I can't deal with it. All right, let's talk. Let's talk the gun room. All right, you guys know I live out rural, where responsible gun ownership is critical. That's why I trust the gun room. These folks are Colorado people. They know firearms, they know safety, and they take time to walk you through what's right for you. So whether you're new to shooting, looking to expand your collection, or want expert guidance from people who actually care, the gun room is the place for you, especially ladies out there. They're not going to make you feel, dumb for not knowing all the different calibers and all that stuff. I'm not a super gun pro. I don't know all those details. And sometimes you walk into a gun shop and you just feel a little belittled by the pros. Not at the gun room. They are there to help you, so they will answer your questions. And if you're looking to get a gift for your husband, dad, or outdoorsman in your life, a gift card to the gun room is a home run. Trust me on this one. Just get the gift card. The guys are going to love it. Stop in, browse their selection of new and used firearms, or just pick a few questions. They love helping people. Give them a call. They'll pick up the phone and talk you through anything. 303-237-1300, 303-237-1300. It's the Gun Room in Lakewood. Check them out at denvergunroom.com. Also, if you've got guns to sell, maybe somebody in your life has moved on to glory. You got a bunch of guns, don't know what to do with them. Denver Gun Room will buy them. denvergunroom.com, denvergunroom.com. Be sure to tell them Jeff sent you. I'll see you inside. All right, we'll continue. Feel free to give us a call if you want to argue that Brigitte Macron is a dude. Happy to take your call. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader News Talk 710, where we discuss the real important issues. We are 710 KNUS.
All right, Bill. Well, the text messages are interesting on this one. Jason in Denver. Brigitte, is that a baguette in your pants, or are you just excited to see me?
That's funny.
Iggy
funny,
wondering
Jason.
why you know so much about this.
And I am deeply disturbed by this as well, Iggy. Believe me, I'm questioning my own purpose in life.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk Medicare Advantage. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is KNUS.